Boys, this is
The following is a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.
live from the rinks at Shelton. It's high school hockey on the HAN Network. Good evening, everyone. I'm Rob Adams. Tonight, an FCIAC matchup and a good one for you. The Darien Blue Wave coming in with a record of 7-1 overall, 2-0 in the FCIAC, take on the St. Joseph Cadets, 5-3 overall, but 2-0 in the conference. A great crew on hand tonight. Jake Zimmer alongside of me for the call. Frank Granito across the way. AJ Simonowski will chime in with stats. Eric Gendron directing. Bill Bloxham, John Kovac, Marty Hersom, Peter Roos on cameras as we welcome you to the rinks at Shelton. And that's pretty much the storyline coming in. Two teams that are 2-0 in the conference. And look, I understand that St. Joseph is 5-3, but they've really pulled it together. This is a good-looking hockey team. They've been one of the terrific stories of the early part of this season. And, of course, the Blue Wave coming off a terrific performance against the Greenwich Cardinals on Monday. They knocked them off 3-0. So, Jake, I feel like Darien has got their mojo back. Can the Cadets answer the Blue Wave?
Well, as you just said, I mean, these are two teams that they did have a lot of questions coming into this year. St. Joe's lost some key starters, and obviously with the loss of Will Massey for Darien in goal, that's never, ever an easy thing to recover from. But as you mentioned before, I mean, you have a St. Joe's team that's 5-3 and a Darien team that's 7-1. Clearly some good things have gone right for St. Joe's. They knocked off really good teams in Notre Dame Fairfield and Notre Dame West Haven earlier this year.
And the question is always, who's up next? You mentioned Will Massey. David Voigt's been very good in net. He got the shutout the other day against Greenwich. And look, that's a high-powered Greenwich attack. To shut them out and do it as strongly as they did, that's credit to this Blue Wave team that had a bad loss not too long ago to Notre Dame of West Haven. They seem to have righted the ship.
Absolutely. I think, again, this is a very good defensive team from what we've seen in the past couple of games that I actually called to you last year, including Darien, Greenwich, in the FCIAC championship. Just a very, they slowed down some high-powered offenses, and I think that really shows in their record this year, 7-1.
7-1 indeed, and again, 3-0 win the other day. That was big. We were keeping an eye on it while we were here for Trumbull-Massac. On the other side for the Cadets, they are coming off a 6-1 pasting of the Wilton Warriors at the Winter Garden in Ridgefield. And again, just a good performance there. Tonight also a charity night that we should talk about. You are coming into the building. If you spend, I believe it's $5, money going to ALS, which is something that I've always believed in. I will say that personally. You walk out with a nice bracelet, a band that you would wear out of here tonight. So nice job there as well. Good charity, and you decide where such discretionary income is going, but to me, that is a noble cause to support ALS.
And such a public cause, too. I mean, obviously, you have the likes of the Lou Gehrig Foundation and a bunch of other foundations. Pete Frady's gaining more popularity over the last couple of years with the Ice Bucket Challenge. But what a phenomenal cause, the ALS and the support in its entirety. I think just a phenomenal cause that is.
It was just not that long ago where ALS was not a forgotten cause, but it certainly did not receive the attention that it garnered. Then along came the Ice Bucket Challenge, as you alluded to. I'm as guilty as anyone. I took part in it. Were you an Ice Bucket?
I was. Actually, I was just once, but I was a part of. I dumped ice on quite a lot of people. It was fun.
We actually did it publicly on the HAN Network. Our own John Kovac got dumped on in the middle of our former program Behind the News. We went outside. I did play-by-play on it. We were on radio at the time. Ice bucket right over his head. Of course, eventually my son John challenged me. I did it, and of course, who else but my son did the honors. We videotaped it, had a lot of fun with it. So a great cause, something that I've long believed in due to the fact that I am a Lou Gehrig fan, and I readily admit that, someone who I've long admired. So I'm glad the attention is being paid to it, and that's nice that they're doing that here tonight for what is a big game.
Definitely. I think there was a statistic out there that ALS over the past 2 years, the funds for research and prevention and all of that, it's exponentially increased. So that's very good to see the signs pointing it towards in hopes of a cure.
We turn our eyes back to hockey now, and we can talk about the undefeateds in the FCIAC. All of a sudden, the Fairfield Co-op, formerly known as the Mustangs, 2-0 overall with good wins, very good wins. Greenwich at 2-0. Monday was a non-conference game, so they stay undefeated. On the other side, and of course divisions, I don't make a big deal about divisions. They do still matter to some. In the East Division, it's Darien and St. Joseph. The winner here tonight obviously takes over sole first place in the Eastern Division of the FCIAC. So that's good to see. But, you know, you've got Ridgefield, Trinity, Wilton, all winless in the East Division. In the West, you've got Staples, Weston, as well as Trumbull and West Hill Stanford. Staples, Weston, and Trumbull each at 1-1 on the season. West Hill Stanford at 0-1. We'll bring in Frank in a moment. Frank's going to have a special guest for us. We're just waiting for the end of the conversation between the captains and the officials. So as soon as they wrap up that conversation, we can go straight across the red line to Frank Granito, who will join us ice side tonight. But then again, we're all ice side. This is a different perspective than we had for the game here on Monday night when we were up in Harris fans' office, which is kind of a hard right to where we are diagonally. And that was just a different perspective, not the best angle we wanted for the video. Tonight we were able to hook this all up, and I think the pictures really show it. It's a pretty look here tonight.
Oh, yeah. My first reaction when I saw it, when I was tuning into the Trumbull-Massac live feed, I said, wow, that's a different view. I kind of liked it. I did. But, you know, you can't obviously beat center ice. This is a phenomenal picture tonight. Yep,
looks very good. All right, captain's discussion going on right now. So let's take a timeout. When we come back, we'll shoot over to Jake if time allows, and we'll have a quick chat with him. Quick break. We come back right after this. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network. At Innovative Health and Rehabilitation, we provide an advanced level of care to resolve symptoms and minimize recurrence. Our experienced professional staff design and implement effective plans to return individuals to their prior level of function. We specialize in the treatment of orthopedic and sports injuries, pre-post surgical rehabilitation, performance enhancement, strength and conditioning, vestibular rehabilitation, balance and gait training. A convenient location and flexible scheduling is available to accommodate your needs. We look forward to providing you with a comprehensive level of care to meet your rehabilitation goals. We are also affiliated with 3 high schools, Norwalk, West Hill, and Stanford. Our certified athletic trainers cover the athletic events at the high schools to prevent, treat, and educate student athletes and injuries. Our certified athletic trainers also take part in the New Canaan Youth Football Program. Reach us at 650 West Avenue in Norwalk. Call us at 203-852-9903. Innovative Health and Rehabilitation.
Darien Sport Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sport Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. If that's the case, keep one thing in mind. It's always summer at the dock shop. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. The Dock Shop is not your average bait and tackle store. They offer a wide array of products, including apparel, jewelry, home furnishings, and some flat-out cool stuff, all with a nautical theme, most made in the USA. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Healthy, confident smiles begin at Stratford Orthodontics. Conveniently located on Main Street, we are Stratford's hometown orthodontist. We offer the latest in orthodontic technology, including Damon braces and Invisalign. We always accept new patients. Call today to schedule a complimentary consultation. 203-375-8332. Stratford Orthodontics, 2499 Main Street, Stratford, 203-375-8332, and online at stratfordsmile.com.
I really wanted something that felt like a home. Coming from a big house, I wanted the feel of a home as opposed to a condo. My property taxes on my single-family home were close to $20,000 a year. Now that I've downsized and I'm in a townhome, and because of the condo tax laws, my fees have gone from $20,000 down to about $5,300 with the star exemption. There is no other townhome that compares in the area. This is where I want to be.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional, personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Back at the rinks at Shelton. Before we meet the starting lineups, let's meet the guy across the way. I'm so excited to put Frank Granito on the air for multiple reasons, not just because he's Frank. Frank, good evening.
How are we doing, Rob? Thanks for having me again. Two teams at the top of the FCIAC standings right now, two of the 4 undefeated teams, as you mentioned. Keys for St. Joe, you've got to survive the first 5 minutes here. We've seen the ability of David Voigt, but let's not forget this is a high-scoring Darien team. They cannot afford to get caught behind early. And if you're Darien, you have to avoid the letdown game now. Coming off a big win against Greenwich, can they follow up on that and continue to improve as the number 1 team in the state?
I'm going to make one little point about Frank, and it's not Frank himself, as much as I like him. I've wanted to be in this business since I was a little boy. And there was always that idea, Jake, of the blazer with the logo on it. Or, as we say in the trade, the microphone flag. The block on the microphone. Frank's looking sharp tonight.
It is.
Go ahead, Frank.
I was going to say, it is a nice touch. It is a step up, and I am feeling first class down here in the glass.
And you're the first one to actually use it on the air, so very cool. All right, let's get it going. For the Darien Blue Wave, they will put Jake Kirby at the right wing, Owen Collins at the left wing, Eddie Glassmeyer centers the top line, Sam Knowlton and Connor McCarthy on defense, and David Voigt in net. For the St. Joseph Cadets, coached by J.R. Bria, Ryan Wilson in net, with the Gilberts on defense, Andrew and William. Nick DiSabella centers the top line, Will Fuldesi on right wing, and the left wing is Adam Usinger. We're underway as Voigt reaches out and tags the loose puck.
Going back to an earlier comment from Frank, I would really have to agree with him on St. Joe's needs to survive the first 5 minutes. That'll really set the tempo for the game for them if they can hold them off.
Face off to the left side of David Voigt, the senior netminder. And the Cadets control it. Sam Knowlton will take it back behind the net. Jake Kirby off the boards, plays it back out to center. Grabbed there by Collins across the line. Fans on the initial pass, goes to the side of the right circle. Works his way down into the right corner. Glassmeyer joins him there. Feeds it across, but poked away. Good job defensively by Will Gilbert. Played back to center. Knowlton's got it. A backhander gets across the line, but a Gilbert waiting there. That was Will. Right out in front of Frank, not to be confused with, I don't know, in this case, Pierre Maguire, as he's right between the boards, between the glass, the whole thing. Played back to center. Here's Fuldesi, but across the line, and it's the Blue Wave grabbing it. Do not be confused. They are the Blue Wave despite the black sweaters. Here's Mullen, flips it on net from the right circle, and Riley Mullen has the puck stopped by Ryan Wilson. 59 seconds gone by, no score.
Different year from St. Joe's as well. This is the first full year where Ryan Wilson, who's a sophomore, will be in net. And he's done a great job this year so far. Interested to see this big test here.
Face off to the left side of that sophomore netminder. It's controlled and put down and blasted just off to the right side from Harry Congdon, the junior defenseman. Back behind the net, Darien, coached by Mac Budd. We had a chance to chat with he and his lovely wife before the game tonight at the snack bar here, which was the HAN Network commissary, such as it is on this evening. That's where we all had dinner. Played along the near side boards, bounces off the glass. This will roll down into the Darien end. Icing the call with 13:35 to go in the first, and no score.
Quick change there by Darien, so St. Joe's able to survive their first shift against the Darien Big Three of Romine, Hazleton, and Mullen.
With a little Chuck Berry playing here in the rink. Love the music choices. Face off to the left side of Ryan Wilson. A scoreless game here in the first. Off the face-off, almost came down into the slot, but it was slapped away by the defenseman Connor Hurley. Now taken in the circle, bounced back by Andrew Van Etten. Van Etten will take it back from Hurley. Along the near side boards, they play it in the right wing boards of the St. Joe's end. They'll play it from right to left in that beautiful white sweater. Cadets across the front. The block style numbers with the gold drop shadow. Fairly sharp, very nice look for the Cadets. Kevin Butler, their athletic director, a really good guy who we've gotten to know quite a bit. Goes back behind the net, trying to throw it out in front. Puck was loose, swatted away by Hurley. Good job defensively. Into the right circle it goes as the Cadets look to get it back out of their own zone. Bounces off the skate of the official. Now across the line and waiting at center to grab it is Andrew Gilbert. He rifles it down on net, pushed aside by David Voigt. Makes the stick save. Into the right corner it goes as we're 2 and change gone by here in the first period in Shelton. Back behind the net, it'll roll around to the near side boards. Thrown down by Gilbert into the right corner, played by Fuldesi. They'll play it cross ice once again. Gilbert slaps it on net. It gets pushed aside again into the corner. Gilbert will get another try, although he initially fanned on it. Taken back to the side of the left circle. That was Adam Usinger. Thrown across from the sharp angle. Did it go in? It did not.
Great job by St. Joe's putting pressure on the defense very early. Voigt is definitely getting his work in so far.
Crowd got a little nervous that might have trickled past Voigt, maybe gone 5-hole on him, but no damage done. 12-10 to go in the first and no score.
Back to your comments about the uniforms, of course, from St. Joe's. Part of a major overhaul over the past 2 or 3 years in which almost every single sport's uniforms were replaced, and they did a phenomenal job with the hockey uniforms here.
Well, you're a stylish guy. Did you have anything to do? Across the line, Kirby. Kirby in the right circle. The wrister pushed aside by Wilson. ZZ Top once sang in 1984 about a sharp-dressed man. That's Jake Zimmer tonight. Left wing boards, very sharp. And is the bow tie for charity?
I guess now.
Across the line it goes. Of course, referencing the work of back the other way it goes. Glassmeyer feeds it into the circle. Here's Kirby. Kirby, the backhander. Puck is loose. Climbing on it is Wilson.
It's a great job by Ryan Wilson. I really think that he does have some great defensive players there. Connor Hurley was one of the captains here, a phenomenal two-sport athlete, and he's one of the best players on this Cadets team, definitely.
I was making reference to Ken Rosenthal of Fox Sports, of course,
yep.
Who wears a bow tie, which didn't start out as being a charity thing, but has become one. He wore it once and got comments on it, and now it's his daughter's involved in picking it out, and it's kind of a cool thing. Every week he does it for a different charity.
It really stuck with him.
Yeah, absolutely. To the far boards it goes and played back out to center. In a scoreless game, 11:16 to go in the first period. Connor Hurley along the far boards, feeds it to Van Etten on the near side, lifts it off the glass. It'll bounce through the neutral zone and go down the left wing. With a head of steam goes Nick DiSabella, but down into the left corner instead. It's played in the corner. Looked like it was Usinger, and it was. Out to center it goes. They'll slap it across the line with Connor Hurley down the right wing, but waiting there is a Blue Wave to grab it and play it back to center. Bringing it near side, Mullen leaves it behind on the drop pass to Hazleton. Mullen again tried to flip it on net, and it goes to the far boards. Almost controlled at the point by Connor McCarthy. Now they'll get it across the line once again. Hazleton, right circle, goes behind the net. Thought about just throwing it on. He did, and it's trapped up along the near side by Wilson. 4:29 gone in the first. No score.
Fantastic match so far. I'd say time possession is probably about equal, if I had to guess. Some great job by both teams putting some pressure on both defenses early.
Face off to the left side of Ryan Wilson. Almost held in at the point, but lifted back by Gilbert. Down the left side it goes, and a whistle for icing with 10:23 to go in the first period. No score. Frank, early thoughts. What do you see from the pace?
Good pace of play so far. Up and down the ice we've gone. Both teams have had a couple of chances, but no sustained pressure just yet. Again, in a game like this where you've got two of the top teams, it's about not making that first mistake and letting someone capitalize early.
Scott Voigt with the wrister down on net. The Blue Wave wearing these black sweaters with the blue numbers and the blue field as well. The D on the front outlined in white and the name on the back. Not everyone loves the name on the back. I'm a fan as a broadcaster. Just makes my job that much easier. Face off to the right side of Wilson. Brought across to Ravosa. I know that because it says it on his sweater, and it's saved in the glove of Wilson.
Like you said, I mean, there's probably split opinions about that, I'd say, just in general. I personally love the name on the back. A lot of people say that it contradicts the school's pride and the teamwork aspect.
That's a fair point. And look, I'm a baseball guy. I'm a Yankees fan, and there has never been a name on the back of a Yankee uniform. Thrown down on net, it goes into the right corner, and I do like that. I do prefer that.
Which is why I cringe every time I see one of those T-shirts with the names on the back of
the
Yankees.
T-shirts I can deal with. It's the jerseys that I can't deal with. Definitely. Big slapper coming down on net, and Wilson. How about the save there as he snapped it away with the glove? Looked like a first baseman right there.
To add on to an earlier comment from Frank, I think this is more of a test for St. Joe's. St. Joe's kind of been stuck in the middle over the past couple of years. Never been able to distinguish themselves like Darien or Greenwich really have. So that'll be really interesting to see what they can do against an elite team.
No score, 9:45 to go in the first. We'll do it all over again.
And you are right, Jake. St. Joe's has definitely been the surprise of the FCIAC this year, with the exception of Fairfield maybe. But this is a St. Joe's team that's got high aspirations after their start to the year and hope to be there at the end of the season.
Face off to the right side of Ryan Wilson. Very few face-offs by comparison have taken place in the Darien, and most of the action has been down to our right. Goes down into the St. Joe's zone, played by Van Etten, goes behind the net to the far corner. Connor Hurley over there. Back out to center at Whistles with Fuldesi, who blasts it across the line into the left corner of the Darien zone. Darien, though, with the blue pants as it goes through traffic from the left point. Van Etten with the dangerous low shot, but it deflected back behind the net. Now out in front, putting it on net, and Usinger scores!
That's a great job crashing net from Adam Usinger there. Just phenomenal job of sticking with the puck, even though he knew it was behind the net there. Beautiful dump over there, and put it right in the back of the net.
It was a great pass by DiSabella from the side of the net. He stuck with the original shot from Van Etten, somehow got it across, and a great finish in front, and that's exactly what St. Joe's needs to start this game.
9:09 to go in the first. It's a 1-0 St. Joseph lead.
That also goes to show how much these younger forwards mean to this team. A lot of them stuck in the shadows again last year with the likes of Filippo Petrini. Just phenomenal way to step up this year.
Across the line it goes into the St. Joseph zone as the Blue Wave will try to answer. Looked like it might have come out, but they kept it onside. Into the left corner. Glassmeyer down there for the Blue Wave. Goes behind the net. Owen Collins there. We get the announcement officially from the goal. Here's McCarthy, throws it on net. And DiSabella did get the assist. Fuldesi also gets an assist. Time of the goal, 5:51 off the save from Wilson. Face-off came to his left, and out of the zone it goes. This will trickle down. David Voigt will step out of his net and flip it aside. Back out the center it goes in a 1-0 St. Joseph lead. Down on net. Oh, came across the crease. Goes into the corner now. Taken back in that corner. Kirby waiting there. We will speak with Jake Kirby later in the game. We didn't have time following the conversation with the officials. Of course, the introductions came, the starting lineups. To Jake Kirby's credit, he went right over to Frank, and Frank said, let's talk to him in the intermission. So we will get Jake Kirby on a little bit later, and our thanks to him for being so attentive to that. Back out the center it goes. Here's Kirby. Backhands it into the St. Joseph zone in a 1-0 game. Goes behind the net where it'll be played by Andrew Gilbert. Now into the corner. Gilbert will grab it once again. Whistle it around. Sam Knowlton waits there for the Blue Wave. Leaves it on the boards. Now Herbie Hazelton grabs it. Thinking wrap around. Threw it out in front. It was dangerous. Swatted away. Comes over to the near side boards. Out of that right corner. Knowlton there. Now Hazelton flips it on net. Wilson up to the challenge. Makes the save.
A couple of missed opportunities there down for the Blue Wave. Glassmeyer and Kirby were right next to the net. They were kind of struggling over the puck a little bit, and had they communicated a little bit better, they might have been able to draw something up and maybe crash the net, try to get something in.
On January 4th, David Voigt lost to Notre Dame West Haven 3-1. Since then, the Blue Wave have allowed single goals and then the shutout of Greenwich on Monday. Now tonight, they're in a 1-0 hole. 7:18 to go in the first period. Romine gets it across the line. Max Romine for the Blue Wave as it goes behind the net and snagged out in front with a little backhander pushed aside. So the Cadets will start. Almost a turnover to Jay Dixon. Gets across the line. Usinger with the speed into the slot. Thrown on net, and they score!
That looks like it's going to be full Desi, but we'll see.
I agree, because Usinger came down the right wing into the circle, swatted it over into the slot, and Foldesi was there to put it home. 2-0 Cadets.
Well, the missed opportunity definitely was by Dixon coming right off the bench. He had a beat on the pass, didn't have a stick down, tried to get it with his foot, got right through him, and what speed by the Cadets there to get the beat on the Darien defender down the left wing.
So 2-0 St. Joseph in control. They're looking for more. Voigt will stop it and hold on. Usinger gets the lone assist. More often than not, you want to give 2 assists on a goal, but not the case here.
And definitely, I think that's definitely a huge part of hockey over there.
As you're getting another look at it right here on the replay, and Johnny on the spot just off to the left side of the net, he was able to put it home. So 2-0. Blue Wave thinking they got to step up here, and a kick save and a beauty into the netting from Ryan Wilson.
I like the choice by Coach Bud to go with his 4th line there off the faceoff. Get a little spark going, see if you can get a bit of a momentum swing. Comes right back with the starting line, Kirby, Glassmeyer, and Collins.
Certainly the Cadets' confidence building, but all it takes is 1. You're only in the first period.
Absolutely. I mean, we saw our share of hockey games last year where teams were up 2 goals, and you had teams winning 5-2 after that, scoring 5 straight, so this one far from over.
Glassmeyer chipping it along in the left corner. Usinger there as well for the Cadets. Played into the benches and just over Frank's head. And I mean just over Frank's head.
Looks like he was covering up his head a little bit over there.
You all right?
Staying warm.
Yeah, okay, just checking.
Missing a little on the top.
Face off to the right side of Wilson. Held in at the left point by the Blue Wave, and that wrister goes well wide. Comes near side. Ravosa, side of the net again. Side of the circle, I beg your pardon. And Wilson makes the save in front of the net.
A great job by the Cadets defense today. They're getting some good looks, but, I mean, they're really putting some pressure on this Darien offense here.
Face-off will come back to his left. And, again, so many of the face-offs have taken place to our right in the Cadet zone. Kirby off the draw, and the hard wrister through traffic, and now it's stopped with lots of bodies out in front. Everyone falling over each other, and that's resolved quickly. 6:13 to go in the first, and a good job here at the rink. Of course, we were here the other night when it was announced that Glenn Fry of the Eagles had passed away. They're playing Already Gone here in the rink, which is a great Eagles song. I don't care what that guy in the Daily News wrote. That was just a brutal column. Nonetheless,
can't attest to it. I did not see it, actually.
You're better off. Off the face-off, comes over into the near side. Basically, just describe the Eagles as being terrible music, and to each their own. To the near side boards, it'll rattle around and go into the far corner. That's where we'll leave the music talk, right there. Along the left side boards, they'll chip it back to center. It'll rattle and roll to the near side. Romine brings it across, throws it down into the left corner. Wilson playing with such confidence right now. Into the far boards. Down into the left corner it goes. Waiting over there, Tom Flynn for the Cadets. Chipped along, and it bounced on the body of Kevin Fostich. Played back out in front. It'll come into the right corner. Riley Mullen there. Now Romine comes on. It's behind the net as they bring it into the bottom of the right circle. Just a lot of bodies throwing sticks at the puck. Nothing damaging, and Wilson will trap it and say, let's go for a face-off. 5:26 to go in the first. 2-0 St. Joseph.
I'd have to concur with your earlier comments about the face-offs. I mean, we've basically seen everything taking place right in front of Ryan Wilson here. Darien's dominated the time of possession so far, but it's the opportunities that have been capitalized by St. Joe's that has been the difference in this game.
Dixon for the draw, thrown down. It'll go into the left corner. 2-0 St. Joseph on top. Little bit of a surprise maybe as it goes back behind the cage and comes over to the near side. Sam Knowlton for the Blue Wave, chipping at it there. Now chopping at it. Brown sends it down into the left corner. Benjamin Brown for the Darien Blue Wave into the left corner again. Just about to the 10-minute mark of period number 1, and it's a 2-0 game. Knowlton and Dixon down into the left corner again in the St. Joseph end. Connor Hurley as well. They'll play it back out to center with Usinger. Fuldesi waited across the line, waiting for the offside call. It didn't come and goes into the right corner. Playing it into the right circle, kept in at the right point, thrown back behind the net. I really thought Usinger, or rather check that, make it Fuldesi was across the line, but doesn't matter. We play on. It goes behind the cage, and they'll play it back to center. In a 2-0 game, 4.5 to go in the first. Cross ice it goes. Now Brown into the circle. It'll come back out to the top of the circle, and Scott Voigt has it go down on net, stopping things. 4:24 to go in the first.
Had a couple of things been a little bit different there, that could have been a dangerous possession there for Darien as they came down the court. I believe it was Connor Hurley that took the shot right down near the Darien bench. It was a pretty weak shot, intercepted pretty quickly. They could have done some damage had they done a couple of things differently.
Glassmeyer for the face-off against Flynn. It'll go behind and come over near side. Played there by Kyle Perchinsky for St. Joseph, back out to center with 4:14 to go in the first period of a 2-0 game. Rattles around and goes down into the left circle. Down to grab it, Andrew Gilbert goes to the far boards. Played over there, grabbed by Collins, out of the left corner, thrown out in front. Dangerous position for Will Gilbert in that he was facing the net with the stick, but no damage. Here's Kirby through the neutral zone. Just backhands it to the near side. Across the line, Collins, the center, sending it over toward Kirby. Goes behind the net and into the left corner now. In that left circle, thrown on net. It goes wide. Back behind it. Wilson sits down, jumps back up on his skates. No damage done. Glassmeyer had 2 against Greenwich the other day, and now Kirby. Kirby behind the net. Sends it back to the left point. Scott Voigt, the blast. And it goes through bodies. Into the left circle it goes. 3:27 to go first period. 2-0. Over there and a whistle and our first call of the night.
It's going to be a hook against the Cadets. Great effort from Jake Kirby on that play. Drew the penalty. And Jake, going back to what you mentioned earlier, how we feel like we've been stuck in the Cadet zone all night, that's a credit to the aggressive play so far by the Darien defense. We are seeing them pinch off, and especially Knowlton, and doing a very good job of keeping the puck in the zone, not allowing St. Joe's to break out.
That'll be on Tom Flynn, it looks like. He got a little roughed up down in the on the right corner there.
Off into the right circle with Hazelton. Hazelton down into the left corner. I did take note of them playing David Bowie as well, who we also lost not all that long ago. Into the right circle, lifted back toward the point, put down by Knowlton. Sam Knowlton at the right point, now brings it across high slot. Oh, it bounced around and went off the post. Comes near side into the corner. In a 2-0 game on the power play with $1:29 remaining on it. Now from the high slot, from the circle on net, and it goes into the left corner.
I almost heard that loud ping as it went off the shot from Sean Knowlton there.
Yeah, you could hear it. In the slot, pushing it back out here, Sam Knowlton, near side of the circle. Hazelton just backhands it into the right corner. It'll go behind the cage. Riley Mullen there, plays catch, gives it back to Hazelton. 2-0 our score, down to 1:05 remaining on the man advantage. At the bottom of the circle, thrown back, nobody home, and the Blue Wave will have to go back and pick it up. But watch out for DiSabella. They'll play keep away from him and leave it back there with 50 remaining on the power play. Kirby will start back. It was Flynn off at 11:35 for a hook. Across the line goes Kirby. Kirby left circle. Into the left corner he goes. Jake Kirby there, throws it back. Left point, Knowlton. Down on net, and the glove save by Wilson, who, again, just looks extremely confident. 36 remaining on the power play. 2 minutes left in the first. Springsteen overhead, 2-0.
Unfortunately, Wilson didn't get to play the whole year. He actually made his debut when Dylan Batterson was out with a concussion for a couple of weeks. They really showed that he can compete at this level, and he finally gets a full year to prove that.
Face off to the right side of Wilson, held in at the left point, brought across left circle. Now left circle waiting there. High top of the left circle, thrown on net, and bodies around and covered up by Wilson, down to 23 remaining on the power play.
A lot of great saves again.
Would like to see Darien start to get some of these shots up towards the top part of the net. We're seeing Wilson play down. He's a butterfly-style goalie. He's a big goalie, taking up a lot of that ice to the low side.
Sean Attanasio on for the draw, down to 17 remaining on the power play for Darien. Scott Voigt couldn't leave it in. Dangerous because ahead of steam. Here's Fostich, couldn't control it. The Blue Wave will take it with Knowlton. Back in his own zone, the countdown will go on as we're on to 2-1, and the power play expires. Even strength with 1:25 to go in the first period. It is 2-0, and yes, St. Joseph has the lead, but Darien coming right back with a lot of activity in the St. Joseph zone. Down to 1:10 to go. My point being, it's been a very entertaining first period. Near side Brown just threw it to the back of the net. Grabbing it there is DiSabella, goes far side, and Usinger will bring it back out. He gets around the defender, gets across the line, now just trying to throw the stick at it, grabs it, and leaves it, and it's left down by DiSabella along the left wing boards with 50 to go in the first frame. Side of the right circle, they look to throw it back to center with Glassmeyer. He gets run up against the boards. Looked like DiSabella, who did the honors. No calls, no harms. 40 to go in the first period, a 2-0 game. Once again, it's Connor Hurley to center. Across the line goes Foldesi. He had the second goal in this game. This will just bounce down on net, but instead it'll be pushed aside with authority by David Voigt. Back out to center and now across the line. Dangerous. Wilson came out, pushed it away. He's got to get back on net. Falls down and they score! A crucial mistake by St. Joseph cuts the deficit to 2-1.
You almost saw that coming, Rob. I didn't want to jinx anything over here, but as soon as Darien controlled the puck down on the other end of the rink, you saw Andrew Van Etten yell over to Captain Connor Hurley with it motion with a stick. He said, get down the court, or excuse me, get down the rink, and they couldn't adjust, so Wilson had to come out. Deadly mistake.
Well, it looked like the errant pass kind of threw Hurley for a loop there. He got caught flat-footed. What great hustle from the Blue Wave, and that's a big goal that St. Joe's did not want to give up at the end of this period.
And they get another shot on net right here with 9 to go in the period. As it comes across, Tom Solger made the goal, or had the goal rather, and Ben Brown got the assist at 19:41 as the period comes to an end. Very interesting first period. As we stay right here, and we will... Frank, thoughts from you as we get to the end of the period?
Well, I thought that Darien really played better in that period. St. Joe's had a good 3-minute stretch there, took advantage of their opportunities, but that's a tough break at the end of the period and a goal you really can't afford to give up. They're going to have to get back on the attack and not rely on David Wilson as much as they did in that period.
Yeah, I thought that was a tough goal to end the period.
Definitely. I mean, the defense had been playing well the entire half, or excuse me, the entire period. You can't rely on Ryan Wilson, as we've said.
And you're watching the goal right there. Crucial.
Definitely. That's not the way J.R. Bria and the Cadets want to go into the locker room. They would have been up a 2-0 advantage on Darien. That's a big morale boost there. Unfortunately, they just couldn't finish out the period the way they wanted to.
Happy to have A.J. Simonowski alongside of me as well. Shots on goal in the first period. What'd you have?
According to my count, Rob, I was off a little bit from the official score. Darien, 20 shots. 20 in the first 15 minutes. St. Joe's with a mere 8. But St. Joe's got the 2 that went in. Of course, you saw Darien come back with the goal here at the end of the period from Tom Solger. Ryan Wilson has been under siege so far in this first period.
All right, 1 in the books. And now the words of Kate Chaplinsky, who will join us with the HAN Network in-game news update. After 1, it's an interesting one. St. Joseph 2, Darien 1. You are watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express. Open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky, and this is your HAN in-game news update, bringing you some of the headlines around the region on January 20th. The Hartford Courant reported Wednesday morning that Andres Ayala Jr. has resigned as State Department of Motor Vehicles Commissioner after what the paper called a nightmarish year of problems. Those problems have included issues with a new computer system, a tripling of wait times for DMV customers, erroneous revocation of drivers' vehicle registrations, and the release of false information to the public. The Courant notes that word of Ayala's impending departure came 2 days after the Hartford paper submitted a Freedom of Information request and questioned the commissioner's hiring of a fellow Bridgeport resident, one who had pleaded guilty in 2006 of felony drug charges in state superior court and served time in prison. And in a story in Milford, 2 animals were rescued from a house fire last night. At around 8 o'clock Tuesday night, Milford firefighters were on the scene of a working basement fire in a residential house at 22 Camden Street. 2 dogs and a cat were rescued from the home by Milford firefighters. The cat was administered oxygen at the scene and taken to Shoreline Animal Hospital, according to Battalion Chief Anthony Fabrizi. No people were reportedly injured in the fire. The cause is currently under investigation. And while one major employer in Connecticut is leaving, Sikorsky Aircraft plans to stay put, according to the Stratford Star. News of General Electric's planned move from Fairfield to Boston raised concerns about Sikorsky's future, but company spokesman Fred Jackson said last week that Sikorsky is not going anywhere. Jackson said to the Star, "We said on day one as a Lockheed Martin company, and we will say it again today, we are not leaving Stratford." Sikorsky Aircraft's future had been the subject of discussion after Lockheed Martin purchased the helicopter manufacturer from United Technologies Corporation last year. Prior to the sale, UTC announced plans to sell Sikorsky or spin it off into a separate company. Stratford Mayor John Harkins, who said last year that he was informed Sikorsky would stay, said the town should focus on economic development in light of possible departures. And in a heartwarming story out of Reading, when a World War II veteran Alexander Sachin lost insurance on his Great Meadow Road home, the company gave him a list of costly tasks that included replacing the entire roof before he could get his insurance back. The 89-year-old Reading resident, who has lived in the same home for 50 years, was unsure how he was going to cover the $42,000 cost of replacing his roof until an organization called Purple Heart Homes stepped in. Letting veterans age in place is a primary goal of Purple Heart Homes. According to their website, the organization looks to restore dignity and quality of life for veterans by creating safe, barrier-free environments. And so volunteers congregated at Sachin's home on Thursday, January 14th to replace his roof, haul the old materials away, and provide a selfless service for a veteran in need. Sachin served in the United States in the Air Force during World War II from 1944 to 1949. He worked his way up to the rank of first lieutenant. He received aviation training as a young cadet and was eventually trained to be a fighter pilot on several different aircrafts. There's much more on that story at thereadingpilot.com. And finally, a Darien church will host a community forum on the Islamic faith. On Sunday, January 24th at about 11:15, the First Congregational Church of Darien will host what they call an open and frank discussion about the Islamic faith and traditions. All are welcome to attend. The discussion will be held in the Parish Hall at 14 Brookside Road in Darien. Gary Morello, the associate minister at the church, said, "You can't go anywhere today without hearing about Islam, so we've invited our Muslim friends to join us to answer questions and dialogue with us." First Congregational hopes the Darien community will come learn more about the Islamic faith and how Islam connects to Christianity. To learn more about that event, you can visit uccdarien.org. And that does it for your in-game news update tonight. For the latest in local news, sports, and more, watch Coffee Break weekdays at 11. This HAN in-game news update was brought to you by Walter Stewart's Market.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional, personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
Denali is your outdoor retail destination in the Westfield Trumbull Mall. For the last 21 years, we have carefully selected clothing, footwear, and gear from a variety of the best outdoor brands, such as the North Face, Patagonia, Vineyard Vines, UGG, Merrell, GoPro, New Balance, and many more. Our stores have a friendly, knowledgeable staff to help you with all of your running, hiking, and cold weather needs, and in discovering all things outdoorsy and awesome. Visit us in the Westfield Trumbull Mall or online at denalioutdoor.com.
I'm John Kovach. I'm a newspaper editor. I'm a high school football coach. I'm a television presenter. And I want you to love fishing as much as I do. Tune into Yankee Fisherman, Thursdays at 1 on the HAN network. It's like going to the tackle shop without leaving your office.
I'm Denise DiGregoli, the host of The Drive on the HAN network. Join me Tuesdays for some motivational, intelligent talk with a little humor as we visit with people who live their lives mindfully. Tune in to The Drive live on Tuesdays, 12:30, here on the HAN network.
You are watching the HAN network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
This is the home of the Fairfield County Interscholastic Athletic Conference, your home for FCIAC sports, the HAN Network.
Welcome back to the rinks at Shelton. 2-1 our score as the St. Joseph Cadets lead the Darien Blue Wave with Jake Zimmer, Frank Granito, AJ Simonowski on stats tonight. We've got Eric Gendron directing our entire crew. I'm Rob Adams. So glad you decided to join us as we're in the first intermission. And again, I was impressed with the way that the Cadets took it to the Blue Wave and got the goals, because they got badly outshot 20-8 in that first period, but they made the most of their shots, Jake. But I'm concerned if I'm a if I'm a Cadet fan, I'm concerned about that goal right here before the intermission.
Yeah, that's definitely cause to be concerned. What I also think they're doing more of than the Darien Blue Wave are is getting their shooters in front of the net and getting their shooters the good looks. I really don't think that's going on with the Blue Wave here. I think they're getting obviously they're dominating the time of possession, and they're ridiculously out-shooting the St. Joe's Cadets, but I really think they're going to need to get their shooters like Jake Kirby and the rest of the guys down on the down on the first line. They need to get them more shots.
Across the way to Frank Granito. Frank, your thoughts?
Well, outside of the power play the Blue Wave had, the Romine, Hazelton, Mullen line really was quiet that period. I think that Darien is getting a lot of quality shots, and the best thing they can do right now is stay aggressive. Their defense are playing aggressive. They're forcing the play in the defensive zone. Wilson can only stand on his head for so long. That's got to be the mindset for this Darien team. On the other side, if you're St. Joe's, your defense have got to clear the zone when trying to get the puck out. They cannot keep throwing it up the wall to waiting defensemen. And you've just now got to get onto the attack and continue to capitalize on your scoring chances.
Frank, thank you very much. The New Canaan Advertiser, Dave Stewart, reporting via Twitter that Brooke Dean had a power play goal, New Canaan leading Staples, let's see, Stanford West Hill Staples, I believe, is the triumvirate. SWS, 3-0 after 2. As the Cadets hit the ice again. And now the Blue Wave come out, and we are expecting Jake Kirby to make his way over to Frank Granito in just a moment. In fact, he is there. They look ready. Frank, let's send it over to you.
Thanks, Rob. Jake, great first period for you guys. You outshot the St. Joe's by almost 15 shots. Were you guys a little frustrated up until that last goal?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, their goal is really good. You know, he's a big kid. He'll stop a lot from the perimeter. I think a lot of the shots were from the perimeter. So we really got to do a better job of getting bodies to the net and kind of getting in his eyes because he's seeing everything right now.
What was Coach Bud's message to you guys in the locker room?
Just keep going. Don't get down on ourselves. You know, it's 2-1 game, 1-goal game, and we're still in it. So, you know, a little rough first period, but we're going to keep going here.
You guys have got a pretty good goal yourselves in David Voigt. How's he doing right now?
David's good. You know, he had I think it's the first time he's let in 2 goals in the first period this year, but you know, he's going to come back strong, and he's solid, so we know he'll be good.
Thanks, Jake. Good luck out there. Rob, back to you.
All right, great stuff from Jake Kirby. Wow, that's phenomenal. All right, to the second period we go. It's a 2-1 score.
Jake Kirby, you can just tell, radiating through that interview, a real humble kid and a great teammate as well. Obviously a phenomenal hockey player.
Period number 2 is underway as it's sent down the left side by Kirby. Kirby goes into the left corner. Kirby speaks, and Kirby plays hockey. I like it. To the far boards we go, out to center. And, you know, at the same time, you always have to recognize these are young athletes, so thanks to Coach Mac Budd for allowing that interview. A lot of coaches wouldn't permit that. Here's Kirby across the line as it bounces down on net. Puck's loose and almost thrown in by Kirby. Tried to stuff it home. Goes behind the net into the left corner. 31 seconds gone by, period number 2. Back out to center. Here's Sam Knowlton for the Blue Wave. Sends it off the boards to the near side. Kirby, the backhander, down the left wing. He'll go for a change. The hard-hitting questions by Frank are enough to send him off to the bench. To the far boards, held in, bouncing along to the left circle, trapped along the net, and Wilson will stop things.
It was a great look there from Jake Kirby down there, right in front of the net. Looks like Will Gilbert got in on it just enough time to deflect that puck away from making Ryan Wilson need to make a play on that.
Face off to the right side of Wilson. Of course, the Cadets down to our left now. They will skate from left to right. And down to our right is David Voigt. Through traffic, Scott Voigt, his brother, tries to throw it down on net. Of course, the Voigts both having the name on the back of the jersey or sweater if you so choose, and the extra initial for that first name as it's held in by Scott Voigt. It's got the S on it. Now coming back the other way, they'll bring it across the line. Fostich had it taken away from him by Mullen, goes cross ice, and sent back out by Congdon. Played along the far boards, right out near Frank. He's a fairly friendly guy. Sends it down the right wing, although he might try to Wally Pip you like he did to me as this hits the netting. Wally Pip, of course, famously the Yankee first baseman who had a mysterious headache is the short story. It's a lot longer involved than that. Lou Gehrig stepped into his place. Now Frank's trying to do that to me.
Guys, I just got a text from my sister.
What?
And she said that Jake Kirby looks significantly taller than me. You didn't get that look, did you?
It's the skates.
That's the excuse everyone uses, I think. I use it, I'll admit. I'm a short guy.
Is that text coming from Catherine?
Yes, it is.
Catherine, hello and good evening, and you're playing some great hockey on your own right. From the left circle, this will go down, and we'll see Catherine Granito and Darien and New Canaan. Not that Catherine plays for Darien, but we will see Darien and New Canaan on the 29th as they play their rematch. What a wonderful game they played last Saturday at the Darien Ice Rink, with Darien coming away with a late victory, but New Canaan with a wonderful comeback in that game. Played back out to center, Knowlton to the far boards, in the neutral zone, sends it across. Collins gets it across the line. Catherine, by the way, we want to have you on Nutmeg Sports one of these days. Bouncing down into the Darien zone. That'll go for an icing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 to 2:30, Monday through Wednesday, with Donald Eng, Dave Stewart, myself, right here on the HAN Network.
Guys, Max DeBerardinis just came off to the bench on limping on one leg there. Looked like he blocked a shot off the ankle. Trying to shake it out right now. We'll keep an eye on that.
Face-off will come to the near side, the right side of Ryan Wilson in that left circle. In the St. Joseph zone, goes to the far boards, lift it back to center. Usinger was there, but McCarthy got it. Tried to backhand it across the line, deflected. Now Scott Voigt will retrieve it in his own zone. Took a hit from behind, fairly clean first period, just the one penalty. It was on Flynn and that came at 11:35. Played out of that near side. Usinger over there, trying to keep it in at the right point. They do. That was Will Gilbert. To the far boards, into the left corner. On to play it is Foldesi. Held in at the left point. This will flutter over into the right corner now. Near side boards played back by the Blue Wave. Scott Voigt across the line. Voigt into the right circle. Glassmeyer there. Goes back behind the net. 11:55 to go second period. Cross ice from Collins. Just thrown down with a quick one-timer that flicked wide into the left corner now. This is in the St. Joseph zone. Along those right boards, Foldesi comes over and delivers the hit. Now it trickles over here to the near side boards. Bounces off those boards and out to center. There's Kirby. Sends it across. Gets to Collins. Collins across the line. Glassmeyer goes for a change along with a couple of other mates. Snagged by Gilbert, and Will Gilbert throws it all the way down. It did bounce off the stick of Congdon, so it goes into the Darien zone with icing waved off. Back behind that cage of David Voigt, going into the left corner of a 2-1 game, 11:15 to go second period. This comes down, as Wilson says it's icing, and the guys in the striped shirts with the black pants concur.
I think if you're J.R. Bria at this point, you still can't be very, you still have to be pretty alarmed. Darien's getting some really good looks down on the St. Joe's side, so he's going to need to come up with some kind of defensive solution real quick.
Face off to the right side of David Voigt, held in at the left point. It goes back behind the net, coming over toward the corner. Anyone who wants to question the Blue Wave, or rather the Cadets are for real, I think we're getting that answer as it goes on net and Voigt holds on.
This is huge for them. They can prove that they can finally hang with an elite team like Darien.
Third line for Darien coming out right now, and this is a big face-off. We haven't seen many in the Darien zone, and they were a little lackadaisical, the few shifts that were in their zone in the first period, and those led to goals.
Face-off in the far circle, right side of Voigt, held in at the left point, sent down into the left corner, right corner, beg your pardon. Through traffic, oh, that went just wide as it deflected off some bodies. Bounced behind the net, into the left corner, played over there by the Cadets, now back behind the cage. Atanasio there for the Cadets, back out to center. They'll bring it across the line, thrown down. That came from DeBerardinis, goes behind the net, put on net, and they score to tie it up.
Wow, that was a whirlwind of a scenario that just happened down there. Somehow you kind of saw everyone skating around and just ended up seeing a bunch of celebrations down on the rink.
Heads up play by DeBerardinis. Put the original shot, kind of fanned on it. It went to behind the goal line. Wilson was still sliding over, and the wherewithal to throw it off his shoulder, trying to bank it in, and he was successful, and just like that, we are tied up at 2.
There's new life in this game, a 2-2 game with 10.5 to go in the second period. Back to center with Usinger of St. Joseph, brought back to their blue line, sent down the left side. And DeBerardinis does get credit for the unassisted goal. I have spoken with many an official about this topic, and sometimes I've had some come right out and say that it's a matter of laziness on scoring these goals, that they don't often see who got the primary and secondary assists. In this case, unassisted. I'm not saying that's what happened here, just giving you a little inside info. Down into the left corner it goes. It'll rattle around to the near side boards with 9:48 to go in the second period. Collins along the near side of that right circle. Now it'll go behind the net with McCarthy. McCarthy sends it far side for Darien, flip back to center. Collins awaits it, steps across the St. Joseph line, and then he gets knocked into next week by Will Gilbert. That was just a collision of a couple of trucks. It wasn't so much a matter of the check itself, it was more so happenstance. Bouncing along to the far side, 9:20 to go second period, a 2-2 game. Scott Voigt into the right corner. He does take a hit there, and a pretty solid one from Atanasio. Held in at the right point. It'll get dumped down into the left corner by Connor Hurley. In that left corner, goes behind the net, thinking about the wraparound. It wasn't there, so it'll come over near side. Chopping at it, back out to center, and snagged all the way down. This gets away, in fact, and icing the call with exactly 9 to play in period number 2.
A couple of great hits down there. You saw one early on from Andrew Van Etten close to us. And you saw Atanasio, and yeah, as you can look down here, this is a replay of the goal right here. It was kind of just a mumbo jumbo down in the corner, and it went into the goal.
Gianna Bruno, 2 goals. New Canaan tops Stanford West Hill Staples 3-0. It's so much to try to keep track of all these teams. Back the other way it goes. Brown across the line for Darien from the circle, and the kick save by Wilson. Goes behind the net into the far corner. Bouncing around in that far corner. It'll stay alive out to center. Played by Voigt for Darien. Scott Voigt lifts it down. The opposite number 5, Connor Hurley, the defenseman, grabs it and puts it right back down. This is wristed down into the right corner. Taken there by Andrew Van Etten. Goes behind the cage and back out to center. Played once again by Voigt. Voigt says, okay, I'll keep doing this. And, well, Hurley says, I'll do the same. Chess match continues. Hurley back beyond his own end line. Bounces off the deflection. That's Glassmeyer. Glassmeyer left circle. Went to get it on net. It got away into the right circle. Some Darien fans down to our left. How do we know? Because I watched their reaction as that was all going on. Across the line into the Darien zone. Knowlton awaiting the pass. He gets it. Now he'll step across the St. Joseph line. Sends across into the right circle. All over to Owen Collins. Collins down into the right corner as we come up on the half-minute mark, or the halfway point, I beg your pardon, of period number 2. Held in at the right point. Through traffic it goes. It goes behind the net with no damage done. And we play on here with 7:39 to go in the second of a 2-2 game. It was held in by Knowlton, so no offside called across the line and back out to center again. One more time, DiSabella, and back to grab it, Hurley.
If you're even both coaches, you got to love how physical this game is getting. And it's all clean. That's the best part.
Again, one penalty so far. Max Romine steps across the line for Darien. He goes behind the net. Bottom of the left circle, sets things up. High slot to Ravosa, goes down into the left corner. 7:09 to go second period, a 2-2 game. And again, a lot of the action this time slanted toward the St. Joseph net. It's a 2-2 game. Held in by Romine, just across the line to the side of the right circle and into the corner. Off to the near side, in the corner, waiting. Romine trying to work his way into the slot, but it's fed back out. So it's taken by Foldesi. He steps across, deflected away, and comes over to the near side and stopping play. Whistle wasn't 100% apparent, but enough to get the job done. 6:45 to go second period, 2-2.
I think still Darien is... This is the same story, I think, as the first half. You have Darien dominating the time possession in shots, and so far it's proven to be effective for them. They have put another goal on the board.
Well, there was about a 2-minute span there where St. Joe's unsuccessfully cleared the zone 6 times. We talked about it before the period. They cannot allow Darien's D to keep them back behind their own goal line.
Frank, by the way, a picture of you has been tweeted out. I just want to let you know this. Full disclosure. Down on net it goes. Big save made by Wilson.
It's a good way to get followers.
Yeah, you can see Frank tweeted at HAN Network. That is HAN Network CT on Twitter. And a picture of Frank holding that new Mike flag. Across the line goes McCarthy, sent down behind the cage with 6:10 to go in the second period of a 2-all game. Really good one tonight between Darien and St. Joseph as the Blue Wave spotted the Cadets the first 2. They're trying for 3, and rising up to make the save was Wilson off that wrister. Hard wrister from the left point by Scott Voigt.
As has been the theme all game, Rob. Brian Wilson's so confident down there. Even with the defense that really isn't helping him out too much. He screams confidence out there.
St. Joe's has got to be careful, too. We have seen a couple pucks from the point that have been redirected on their way to Darien, and a timeout being taken right now by the Cadets. A smart call.
I totally agree. I think, Jake, this is a smart timeout taken by J.R. Bria and the Cadets.
Definitely. It's been a long time coming. I think they need to regroup and figure out some plan that's going to get them some more shots, but more importantly, a plan that's going to keep Darien's shooters out of range of potentially giving them the lead here.
AJ, are the shots as weighted as I think in this period? It seems heavily again in favor of the Blue Wave.
Yes, they are, Rob. Not nearly as many shots to this point in the period. By my count, only 7 for Darien, but only 2 for St. Joe's.
But still, as we hit the 6-minute mark remaining, that's 27-15 in favor, almost a full 2-1 in favor of the Blue Wave shots on net.
Definitely. St. Joe's having a lot of trouble getting the puck out of their own zone, and it's gonna be hard to beat Darien if they can't get some shots off.
AJ, thank you.
And Rob, we know AJ was mentioning how only 7 shots this period. I was going back to, they have had a lot of pucks that have been redirected in the slot and gone wide. That might even put up to 35 shots on the game so far, but St. Joe's has got to start picking guys up in the slot and not allowing them to keep getting traffic.
Congdon through traffic, down on net, and the glove save made by Wilson. 5:55 remaining in the second period. The Beatles overhead. You say you want a revolution. 2-2 our score.
I think if you're the Cadets here, this is the possession where you want to get something like right now in the next couple of minutes and turn it over back to the other side.
That puck was dangerous, just laying there in the slot for a moment, but it comes out of the zone. DiSabella's got it, and the Cadets have got to regain something here because Darien has really taken it to them in terms of shots. Again, on the scoreboard, 2-2, but you just feel like the game heavily in favor of the Blue Wave right now. Coming back behind the net, into the left corner it goes, in the Darien zone, out to center, and rolling down. Wilson says icing. The officials agree.
I'd have to concur with you, Rob. It's obviously a tie game right now, but it's almost being played like the Darien have a 1 or 2 goal advantage here.
Big opportunity for St. Joe's here. Face off in the offensive zone. Darien cannot get caught sleeping and get lazy off this draw.
Adanasio for the draw for St. Joseph. Down on net, and it got chipped over the head of Voigt to the near side, and it'll rattle around to the far corner. It's a 2-2 game with 5:15 remaining in the second period. What a good one we've got so far here tonight. Into the corner it goes. Ravosa for the Blue Wave. Now Scott Voigt bounces off the boards, back out to center, rolling down, icing waved off. Wilson will leave it behind, I beg your pardon. It'll go to the far side, chipped along, and held in by the Blue Wave to the far boards once again, and the Cadets turn it over. They keep the pressure on, do the Blue Wave. Here's Riley Mullen, the little chip coming back on the centering pass. It'll go behind the net and roll to the near side. Scott Voigt at the side of the left circle sends it over into the far corner. Waiting over there to grab it was Parchinsky for St. Joseph. Coming up on 4.5 to play in period number 2 of a 2-2 game. Keeping it along the near side, Scott Voigt went to grab it as it just kind of fluttered, bounces along the glass right out in front of our faces, and played back to center and sent down by Fostich. They center it back and send it all the way down, icing the call here. 4:19 to go second period. It's 2-2.
May or may not have flinched a little bit in that dump off to the glass right near us. May or may not. I'll neither confirm nor deny.
I don't think I even batted an eyelash, but I don't know.
And that's uncharacteristic of me because I'm the baseball player. I'm supposed to be used to people hitting the balls right at the net. So.
Yeah, but are you playing in college?
That's true. No, exactly.
So you're losing the skills.
Exactly.
Face off to the right side. Jake, a fine baseball player at St. Joseph. Always wanted to get one of your games on our airwave. We were never quite able to make it happen. Darn that internet. Into the left corner it goes with 4:05 to go in the second period. And I know you guys are doing all kinds of infrastructure fixes and adjustments and improvements at St. Joseph. I know your AD has told me that a couple of times. Across the line it comes, down into the St. Joseph end. And you're a proud alum.
Of course.
But you are an unbiased broadcaster.
Absolutely.
Held in right point, sent down through the circle, into the slot it goes, thrown back behind the net. No damage done. 3:39 to go second period. It's a 2-2 game. To the near side, McCarthy held in at the left point. Jake, of course, becoming a radio legend now at Bryant University in Rhode Island.
I don't know if legend's the right term to describe it, but
doggone it, you're here on the airwaves with me. I'm saying you're a legend. To the far corner it goes. Full Desi there for St. Joseph. Gets it back out to center. Was trying for the long headman pass to Usinger. It wasn't there. So the Blue Wave will take it back in their own zone. McCarthy, cross ice. I will say I'm liking the names on the backs of the sweaters. Just makes my job that much easier. Behind the cage, they'll play it back the other way. Out of the zone, it'll bounce along the boards. Wilson says icing. Officials agree. 3 minutes to play, second period, 2-2.
St. Joe's has been very strong off these last 4 faceoffs they've had in the offensive zone, almost the only offensive opportunities they've had this period. They can really take advantage and get one here to get back on top.
We are keeping an eye, of course, on what's going on with the weather this weekend, and we will have coverage, storm watch coverage this weekend as needed right here on the HAN network. Kate Shaplinsky and I will anchor the coverage probably on Saturday, but again, stay tuned, watch Twitter, all of that. We'll let you know about the coverage. Coming back the other way from right to left, Kirby leaves it behind at the top of the circle. Glassmeyer, dangerous in the slot as Collins was there. To the far corner it goes, 2:40 to go, second period. And a whistle, and we've got interference from the looks of it with 2:38 to go in the second period.
Let's see who's going to the box here.
Chatting with Atanasio, and I believe that
is who's going to go, Rob.
That is the man.
Darien's power play, the one time they were out there, had a lot of opportunities, controlled the puck the whole time. The only reason St. Joe's was able to clear the zone was because of an errant pass thrown by Hazelton to a vacant point position.
And a great job last time out by the St. Joe's kill as well. So let's see if they can get similar results here.
Held in by the Blue Wave as they start the power play. 0 for 1 so far. Kirby on net, and the hard wrister off to the near side. Dropping down is Hazelton, or rather, check that. That's Romine wearing 21. Into the corner it goes. Look at the center. Sends it across to the near side. They'll bring it back out. High slot Knowlton. Knowlton takes a look to the right circle. Bouncing over there to Hurley. Held in at the right point through traffic and corralled by Usinger all the way down to David Voigt to our right. 1:25 remaining on the man advantage, 2 minutes remaining in period number 2. It's a 2-2 game. Deuce is wild, as the great Vin Scully would say. Mullen across the line, left circle. Mullen puts on the brakes, brings it back. Here's Knowlton at the left point. Moves toward the high slot to the left circle now. That was Mullen. Mullen will go and grab it again out of the circle near the point. Went to leave it behind, faked on that, and sends it now to Knowlton. Knowlton through traffic. It'll go over into the right corner. 1:35 remaining in the period. Now down to 52 remaining on the power play. Atanasio off for interference at 12:22. Left circle, now to the slot. Here's the circle for Kirby, and they score off the backhander. It's a power play goal for Jake Kirby and a 3-2 lead for Darien.
That is not what you need from St. Joe's there. That was one of the most crucial possessions for Darien of this period, and that's not right showing that you want if you're J.R. Bria chairing this Cadets penalty kill team.
Wilson looked to have been fooled by the changeup there. Just a little flip on goal with the backhand by Kirby. Smart play, though, finally getting a puck towards the net. They'd been moving around very well on that power play, controlling possession, but unable to get a shot on goal before that one.
So the penalty hurts the Cadets, and it's a 3-2 game. 1:15 to go in the second period. Listening to the announcement, Kirby from Hazelton and Mullen. And it came at 13:37. Kirby from Hazelton and Mullen, a power play goal at 13:37. Now down to 50 to go in the second period. It's a 3-2 game. Darien on top. Into the far corner, Glassmeyer. Glassmeyer out of that corner, staying in the right corner. Here's Kirby in that corner again. Spinning around Knowlton at the right point through traffic, and it goes in!
Looked like it was redirected on the way there. Might have gone off the stick of Kirby. We'll hear what the official scoring is, but we talked about it throughout this period. Shots from the point with traffic in front. St. Joe's has got to do a better job of clearing a path for Wilson.
And that was a key going into this period, trying to make this defense put a little bit of life into them because they haven't been making a bunch of stops. So that is not what you want from the Cadets here.
Off the face-off to the near side and down the right wing in the Darien zone. Down to 27, and now St. Joseph just looking like they've got a bit of quicksand that they're dealing with. Let's see who got the goal. Kirby coming down into the circle, and he does it again! Well, this jumped up a bit.
Wow.
You know, at the start of this broadcast, I said St. Joe's has got to try to win the first 5 minutes. Nothing is more important than not giving up a goal in the final minute.
We'll need to catch up on the scoring because we had to call the goals, so we'll catch up on the bookkeeping here in a moment. But my goodness.
Rob, I believe from where I was standing, that was Jake Kirby again.
I believe you're right. I want to hear it all for sure, and we'll get it from Frank here at the end of the period as we're down to 2-1 and the period over. So Glassmeyer gets the assist at 14:46 on the Kirby goal. Now, Frank, to you, the other goal at 14:25. Catch me up.
So that goal was scored by Knowlton. They gave Kirby the assist along with another assist to Scott Voigt. So they were going to say it was not redirected on the way towards the net. Knowlton picks up the goal. And in a span of the final minute 30, Darien is able to take a 3-goal lead.
Indeed, it is a 5-2 game after 2 periods of play. Unreal. Wow, things really jumped up at the end of the period, Jake.
As Eric just reminded me, what a keen similarity to the FCIAC championship we saw before. Darien did not count themselves out, down 2-0, came right back into the game.
5-2 game. I'm really I'm blown away right now, Frank.
Well, we talked a lot before the game about Voigt coming in off his 4th shutout of the season and how he's only given up more than 1 goal in 1 game this year. I don't think enough credit is given to the offensive side of this Darien team. Their forwards are very effective scorers, and their defensemen add even more to their offense. It is an aggressive team that likes to play on the attack, and we just saw what they're capable of doing there in the last 90 seconds.
We have the advantage of having A.J. Simonowski do stats for us tonight, and shots on goal second period, I would imagine now it's looking very heavily in favor of the Blue Wave.
Having just heard the official count from the official across the way, 17 shots for Darien, only 4 for St. Joe's.
So a 2-period total of 37-12?
That's what I have.
I mean, Frank, those are heavy numbers.
No, and it doesn't matter what kind of goalie you have in net. When you're playing against the potential #1 team in the state, you're not setting yourself up for success with that kind of play.
Anthony Pirelli is here tonight, and he just tweeted out, "They won't let me get a tweet off. Darien has scored 3 times in the last 1:30 of the second, leading St. Joe's 5-2. Anthony's right. Not much more needs to be said. After 2 periods of play, Darien 5, St. Joseph 2. What do the Cadets have left in them? We'll find out in the third. 2 periods in the books, 5-2 our score. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we were very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
I'm Kate Czaplinski, and this is your HAN in-game news update, bringing you some of the headlines around the region on January 20th. The Hartford Courant reported Wednesday morning that Andres Ayala Jr. has resigned as State Department of Motor Vehicles Commissioner after what the paper called a nightmarish year of problems. Those problems have included issues with a new computer system, a tripling of wait times for DMV customers, erroneous revocation of drivers' vehicle registrations, and the release of false information to the public. The Courant notes that word of Ayala's impending departure came 2 days after the Hartford paper submitted a Freedom of Information request and questioned the commissioner's hiring of a fellow Bridgeport resident, one who had pleaded guilty in 2006 of felony drug charges in state superior court and served time in prison. And in a story in Milford, 2 animals were rescued from a house fire last night. At around 8 o'clock Tuesday night, Milford firefighters were on the scene of a working basement fire in a residential house at 22 Camden Street. 2 dogs and a cat were rescued from the home by Milford firefighters. The cat was administered oxygen at the scene and taken to Shoreline Animal Hospital, according to Battalion Chief Anthony Fabrizi. No people were reportedly injured in the fire. The cause is currently under investigation. And while one major employer in Connecticut is leaving, Sikorsky Aircraft plans to stay put, according to the Stratford Star. News of General Electric's planned move from Fairfield to Boston raised concern concerns about Sikorsky's future, but company spokesman Fred Jackson said last week that Sikorsky is not going anywhere. Jackson said to the Star, "We said on day one as a Lockheed Martin company, and we will say it again today, we are not leaving Stratford." Sikorsky Aircraft's future had been the subject of discussion after Lockheed Martin purchased the helicopter manufacturer from United Technologies Corporation last year. Prior to the sale, UTC announced plans to sell Sikorsky or spin it off into a separate company. Stratford Mayor John Harkins, who said last year that he was informed Sikorsky would stay, said the town should focus on economic development in light of possible departures. And in a heartwarming story out of Reading, when a World War II veteran Alexander Sachin lost insurance on his Great Meadow Road home, the company gave him a list of costly tasks that included replacing the entire roof before he could get his insurance back. The 89-year-old Reading resident, who has lived in the same home for 50 years, was unsure how he was going to cover the $42,000 cost of replacing his roof until an organization called Purple Heart Homes stepped in. Letting veterans age in place is a primary goal of Purple Heart Homes. According to their website, the organization looks to restore dignity and quality of life for veterans by creating safe, barrier-free environments. And so volunteers congregated at Sachin's home on Thursday, January 14th to replace his roof, haul the old materials away, and provide a selfless service for a veteran in need. Sachin served in the United States in the Air Force during World War II from 1944 to 1949. He worked his way up to the rank of first lieutenant. He received aviation training as a young cadet and was eventually trained to be a fighter pilot on several different aircrafts. There's much more on that story at thereadingpilot.com. And finally, a Darien church will host a community forum on the Islamic faith. On Sunday, January 24th at about 11:15, the First Congregational Church of Darien will host what they call an open and frank discussion about the Islamic faith and traditions. All are welcome to attend. The discussion will be held in the Parish Hall at 14 Brookside Road in Darien. Gary Morello, the associate minister at the church, said, "You can't go anywhere today without hearing about Islam, so we've invited our Muslim friends to join us to answer questions and dialogue with us." First Congregational hopes the Darien community will come learn more about the Islamic faith and how Islam connects to Christianity. To learn more about that event, you can visit uccdarien.org. And that does it for your in-game news update tonight. For the latest in local news, sports, and more, watch Coffee Break weekdays at 11. This HAN in-game news update was brought to you by Walter Stewart's Market.
It's the new year. The to-do list is long and it's easy to feel pulled in many directions at once. Your professional, personal shoppers at Walter Stewart's are ready to check groceries off your list by shopping for you. Save extra time this year and spend it doing more important things. Great food and wine delivered to your home with the same-day service. Shop Stewart's online at stewartsmarket.com.
Well, there's still a bite out on the water. Most anglers have decided to stow the gear for the winter. If that's the case, keep one thing in mind. It's always summer at the dock shop. Just because Mother Nature isn't cooperating doesn't mean you can't see the latest models of all your favorite gear. The dock shop is not your average bait and tackle store. They offer a wide array of products, including apparel, jewelry, home furnishings, and some flat-out cool stuff, all with a nautical theme, most made in the USA. With 2 convenient locations, it couldn't be easier to get your fix of summer. Boater, beach bum, fisherman, or simply love the New England coast, this is a unique place to shop. The Dock Shop, 51 Tokenique Road, Darien, 609 Riverside Avenue, Westport, or on the web, dockshop.com.
Carl Chevrolet is proud to sponsor HAN Network's coverage of the area's best high school sports. No matter the sport, competition in the FCIAC is spirited, so get out and cheer on your favorite team. If you can't make it to the game, be sure to bring HAN Network with you to keep up with the action. Visit Carl Chevrolet in New Canaan or online at carldirect.com.
Hi, I'm Rob Adams with my good friend Donald Eng, and we're the home team for Nutmeg Sports, Monday through Wednesday at 2 o'clock right here on the HAN Network. We are the place for all things Connecticut sports, so come hang out with us on Nutmeg Sports. Don? They don't call him the best color man in the game for nothing. Nutmeg Sports, 2 o'clock, Monday through Wednesday right here on the HAN Network.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
And we welcome you back to the rinks at Shelton. 5-2 our score. I'm Rob Adams. Jake Zimmer alongside of me. Jake Kirby probably wants to be interviewed by Frank Granito again because that kind of turned things around for the Darien Blue Wave as they exploded for this now 3-goal lead. 5-2 our score after 2. Darien on top of St. Joseph.
I'm sure he does. I mean, out of all times to be interviewed after, now is the absolute perfect after that. I believe 2 goals and an assist in 30 seconds. So that's just a phenomenal job by Darien overall to get their shooters the right shots and to create the opportunities to put those points on the board.
We are waiting for the Cadets to come back out onto the ice, and when they do, we are hopeful that Frank will be able to grab one of the Cadets. Since we did have a Blue Wave player in the first intermission, we're going to try to grab a Cadet here in the second intermission, and Frank chatting with the officials as well, so we will see who he grabs in just a moment. 15 minutes on the clock, and a lot of work to be done for these St. Joseph Cadets as they trail 5-2. Frank looking for his man. He's got him. They look ready. Let's go to Frank.
Thanks, Rob. I'm joined by Nick DeSabella. Nick, tough end of the period there. What were you guys saying in the locker room about that?
It's not over yet. We got to get 15 minutes of hard work and show them we're not going to lie down. We're going to come out flying and keep working hard.
David Wilson has been unbelievable in net tonight. What can you say about his performance so far?
He's good every game. He keeps us in every game. We got to give him some hard work and reward him.
What do you guys think you need to do to turn things around in this third period?
Pucks to the net, chip pucks out. We're having struggles chipping the puck out. Move our feet.
Thanks, Nick. Good luck out there. Rob, back to you.
All right, thanks, Frank. David Voigt to our left. Ryan Wilson to our right. St. Joseph standing out at the line, ready to go for the third period. And the Blue Wave getting ready to join them in those black sweaters. Don't be fooled. 5-2 our score.
And Rob, excuse me there, I called Ryan Wilson, David Wilson, combining the Darien and St. Joe's goalies.
I knew. I had your back. Off the face-off we go. Third period underway. That's the subtle correction. We never like to embarrass on the air. Young broadcasters, learn that. To the far side it goes, comes over to the near side, bottom of the left circle. A 5-2 game with St. Joseph trailing Darien. Darien really trying to prove that they are indeed the number 1 team in the state, icing the call here with 23 seconds gone by.
I'd have to agree with Nick DeSabella here. It's going to be a daunting task coming back from a 3-point deficit against an elite team like Darien, but you're going to see some hard work out of these guys, like he said, and looks like they're going to keep their foot on the gas.
A special shout-out tonight on the broadcast crew to Peter Oos, who is running a camera directly to our left. We asked him why he was so crazy to join us and join this madness. Seemed like he was going to have some fun with us. Sends it over to the far side board, so Peter running a camera tonight. On camera also, John Kovac, Bill Bloxham, Marty Hersom as well. Eric Gendron directing, AJ Simonowski alongside of me with stats. Jake Zimmer to my left, Frank Granito across ice. Tracy Iazi was here earlier setting things up with all the internet and so on, and I'm Rob Adams. So glad you're along with us. 1 minute gone by, third period 5-2, and just a great crew here tonight. We've had a lot of fun. We'll see if we've got a fun finish to this game. Played back out to center as the Cadets bring it across the line. Atanasio goes into the right circle, goes behind the net of David Voigt. Into the near corner it goes. Our next broadcast, by the way, weather permitting, and it looks like it will, Friday night at Stamford High School. And we had a great time at Stamford High last time we were there for Norwalk Stamford. We go back for Trinity Catholic Stamford, Friday night at 7. One of the games that is left in its original start time. Others have been changed. A lot of them being played tomorrow, in fact. 3 to be exact. Going behind the cage down in the Darien zone in a 5-2 game. 13:20 to go in regulation. Played back out the center. Dixon for the Blue Wave steps across the line into the slot, goes left circle, thinking backhand, does go backhand, and it's trapped and held onto by Ryan Wilson.
Going back to your comments about Stanford High, what a phenomenal place to call a basketball game. I enjoyed every single minute of it. I'm sure Frank did as well because he was on the crew.
Face-off will come to the right side of Wilson. Off the draw, it'll go behind the net. Coming over to the near side, bounce it off the boards, play it back out to center. Knowlton sends down into the left corner, going behind the cage again, played by Andrew Gilbert. Gilbert goes far side, now on net, puck loose out in front. It's turned back the other way. From right to left they go. Here's DiSabella, steps across the line, and the offside called.
Not really what St. Joe's wants coming out of the gate here. I think they need to be a little more, put a little more pressure on this Darien D. It's not really working out for them so far. Back and forth play.
But Jake, you can already see they've just in the 2 minutes 15 that have already gone by, a number of attempts at a fast break. That's how St. Joe's got their points to begin with, going back to what works.
12:40 remaining in regulation. Thank you guys, as I'm doing a little back and forth here of my own. Into the right circle, Hazelton going on to the far corner now. Played along those far left side boards with 12:27 remaining. Here's a whistle and a 5-2 game. Net came off the moorings.
AJ, going back to your comments, I definitely agree with you. It's more so of it's better than they've been playing the first two periods. I think they've been getting some fast break looks, but they really need to get it together quick.
Face-off will come to the right side of Ryan Wilson. It's a 5-2 game. Down on net it goes, going into the far corner. Riley Mullen over there. Again, into that left corner. Mullen there for the Blue Wave in a 5-2 game. 12:13 remaining. They play it back out to center. Get it across the line. They'll spin it back the other way. We stay at 5-2. The Cadets in need of a goal pretty quick because you got to just put some pressure on the Blue Wave. Going behind the net with Will Gilbert to the near side. Played behind the net by Connor Hurley. Into the far corner it goes. Over there it is snagged by Fostich for the Cadets. Played back out to center. Waiting there, a Blue Wave who throws it right back down on net. That is Scott Voigt. Goes behind the net. 11:42 remaining in regulation. It is a 5-2 game. Also want to take note of Steve Buono here from the Darien Times. I saw him here earlier tonight, so nice to see Steve. Played back out to center, and across the line they go. Here's Usinger down the left side. Into the left corner it goes. Now to the right corner with Usinger, left behind the net. Coming over to the near side. And, of course, this being Wednesday night, tomorrow the papers come out, and the Darien Times among them, along with the Trumbull Times as well. Not forgetting our friends in Trumbull, where Steve Coulter happens to be the editor. Into the near corner, the great Susan Schultz will have a wonderful editorial. It's already online, but in print tomorrow about the GE situation. Slap shot coming in from the right point from Van Etten. Speaking of GE, I know there was a lot of conversation today on the new CT Pulse with Josh Fisher and Kate Chaplinsky. They talked about it as well, the situation of GE departing for Boston. Down on net it goes, and held on to by David Voigt, who hasn't had to do a lot of that this evening. 5-2 our score, 10:40 to go in regulation.
And again, over in the Trumbull Times, Steve Coulter ran a great article on Technic Tigers Baseball Academy that just opened up a new facility down in Trumbull. Phenomenal read. I'm sure that'll be a very popular article.
Face-off will come to the right side of Voigt. Tom Flynn for the draw. As it goes to Knowlton in the corner, played back out to center. Waiting there, make that Hurley. Sent down and around the boards. Coming over to the near side of the left circle. Kirby there. Kirby with a couple of goals on the night. Will it be double trouble on the Jake Kirby interview this evening? He's already been interviewed once. Sent across the line into the St. Joseph zone. Coming cross ice. That's Van Etten. Back out to center it goes. Chipped away and across the line. That was Matt Lally for the Cadets. Thrown down into the right corner with 10:05 remaining. Into the left corner, back to Van Etten, to the near side, along the boards and out to center. Jack Pisani on for the Cadets, coached by J.R. Bria. Across the line again and down behind the net of David Voigt in the Darien zone. With 9:49 to go and chasing 3, the clock is not in favor, obviously, of the Cadets, who started this game with a 2-0 first period lead. Into the left corner it goes. Now Voigt at the left point through traffic down into the right corner, trying to get Frank back on track. If he gives me a wave, he'll come back into the conversation. Hopefully he does. Held in at the left point, now in the left circle, controlled by the Cadets and Will Gilbert. Back behind the net in the St. Joseph end. This is not what the Cadets need. They need to get traffic going the other way, but the Blue Wave are just everywhere. Here's Scott Voigt. Voigt sends it across the line and down the left side with 9:06 remaining in regulation. Behind the cage it goes to the far side. They'll whistle it back out to center. Parchinski steps across the Darien line, sends it wide of the net, and it goes down into the right corner. Now to the right wing boards. Couldn't hold it in, so they'll play cross ice to Van Etten. Van Etten awaits, sends it down on net. It got deflected. Now it goes behind the net, and Scott Voigt will play it there. He'll rifle it back out, but it'll go out near Mac Budd and the Darien Blue Wave. In fact, I think Frank is trying to grab the loose piece of rubber. And he dives right back into his penalty box. We once had penalty box Paul Silverfarb. We now have penalty box Frank Granito.
I played that role very briefly for a doubleheader at Webster Bank Arena as well.
Off the face-off, it comes to the near side. I know Paul had a great time doing it. I think you did as well.
It was a blast.
Yeah. I haven't had to do it. Far side it goes, held in, right point, bounces away, comes over near side. St. Joseph, a lot of work to do, down 5-2. Put on net, trouble there, tried it again, it wasn't there. Goes back behind, and now out of the zone it comes. Far side, Connor Hurley. Hurley sends it down the right wing. Behind the net it goes with 8:12 remaining. Back out to center, through the neutral zone. Brown and DeBerardinis. They'll flip it away, it'll come back out, and just coming off the bench, it'll be sent down the left wing side. That was Voigt. Voigt at the left point. He dances across, top of the left circle, into the shooting glove of one, or rather catching glove of one Mr. Ryan Wilson.
J.R. Bria's second year so far, and he, of course, replaced the longtime coach Marty Krause, and Bria's just done a phenomenal job with this team. Great addition, great chemistry around the whole players. They love and really, really support this guy.
7:50 remaining in regulation. Puck goes behind the net. Oh, good opportunity there. Comes over into the near circle as we get down to the final 7:41 in the third period. It'll go around to the far boards, played over there and out to center. Congdon will go and grab it for the Blue Wave. It's a 5-2 game. Darien on top. Off to the near side it comes in this 5-2 lead. Action right out in front of us. Glassmeyer there, as well as Congdon for the Blue Wave. They come away with it. Now it's taken by DiSabella. DiSabella gets it across the line. But the Blue Wave say, we will take that, thank you very much, and Kirby and Glassmeyer will play catch. Kirby to the circle, puck loose, comes over into the near side circle. They'll play it again. Take it one more time, go to the high slot, feed it across. Far side there, Wilson makes the first save, goes behind the net. That comes with 6:54 to go in regulation of a 5-2 game. Down on net it goes to the far to our left side now, and an icing stops things right there. Jake, please talk.
Got your back, Rob.
Thank you.
I have to concur with what AJ said before even. I mean, they're getting some fast breaks. They're getting some really good possessions. I'm referring to the Cadets, of course. And of course, as you said earlier, the clock is not their friend at this point. 6:47 left to go.
Frank, welcome back.
Been a crazy couple minutes there, but as we've seen right now, Darien playing a very smart game. They're running all four lines that they have on their bench, just trying to stay out of their zone and stay on the attack.
Bring it back the other way. Mullen across the line, chipped on net, and it goes just wide into the far boards. 5-2 with 6:25 to go. Van Etten brings it out to center. Van Etten down the left side. It'll go behind the net. Over there to play it is Knowlton for the Blue Wave. To the near corner they go. Riley Mullen, he corrals it, sends it back to center. Chipped across the line by Fostich as he goes down, and is a penalty coming here with 6:08 to go. It's a 5-2 game.
Going to be
like
offside.
Offside the call?
Yeah, offside the call.
6:08 remaining, third period, and the Darien Blue Wave with a 4-goal explosion in the third look like they're in control, up 5-2. Off the face-off out at center, Solger gets it across the line for the Blue Wave. Solger had the first Darien goal. That came at 14:41 of the first period, and you could almost tell the game changed right there. It was a bad turnover that led to a goal. Sent cross ice, out of the zone it goes from Will Gilbert, played back to center, down on net, and Wilson will kind of hold on. He went to flip it out, but of course, the minute the official loses sight of it, the whistle gets blown.
Well, Rob, actually, the ruling there is that any offside or delayed offside, if a shot goes on goal, as soon as it hits the goalie, the whistle will blow.
Face-off will come to the dot near the St. Joseph bench. Off the draw. Controlled by the Cadets. They throw it down. It'll go behind the net in the Darien zone with 5.5 to play. Now behind the bench, or net rather, they go into the far circle and out to center. Numbers right here for the Blue Wave, but a big blast from DeBerardinis across the line goes to the far boards. Now flipped down on net, and a nice glove save by Wilson. 5:16 to go, 5-2 Darien.
Darien, again, not taking their foot off the gas pedal here. They're playing some very hard defense, getting some good offensive looks here. I really think they're making it a point to not let St. Joe's score. They really can't try to let them back into this game because you never know what it'll take, as we saw by that second period.
Face off to the far side boards. Glassmeyer there for the Blue Wave. It'll go behind the net now to the near corner. Snagged here and played by Will Gilbert. Tries to get it back out to center. They do. Jake Kirby gets it across the St. Joseph line. Taken once again by Will Gilbert. Plays at the center. They'll get it across the Darien line and into their zone. Far side it goes. Sent around to the right point. Will Gilbert waiting there. Getting late for St. Joseph. They trail 5-2. A 5-0 run, such as it is for the Darien Blue Wave in this game. 5 unanswered. Into the right corner. Played by the Blue Wave. Collins there. Now turned over. Parchinsky. And out the center it goes. Lifted down the right wing. Scott Voigt will corral it there for Darien. Back beyond his own end line. Sends it across with the headman pass to Kirby. Flipped across the line. Trying to do it himself. Collins! Oh, just missed. And he had defensive help there from Hurley, or a defensive battle. I don't think Hurley was exactly helping him. Now it's down and loose and on net, and the stop of the whistle. 5-2, 4:12 to go.
I think that's a kind of defense that would have been great for the Cadets at the end of the first period and the entire second period there. Phenomenal pressure by Connor Hurley. We know he's capable of it. He's the captain. He's a great player. Would have been nice to see that earlier on in the game when they had an advantage.
DiSabella, now Hurley. Hurley's got it left corner. Hurley goes behind the net, tries to feed it back, but Knowlton keeps it in at the point. Kick save, but that came from Van Etten and goes into the right corner. Not a kick save for Wilson, just so we're clear. To the far side, they bring it back to center, and the Blue Wave keep the pressure on. They step across the line. Hazelton, right circle, on net. Glove save, Wilson.
Honestly, basically not even a kick save there. He kind of just picked up his foot, and it ended up ricocheting right off his pad. But again, some great defensive presence by the Cadets here, and that would have been something great to see earlier on in the game.
Again, basketball Friday night from Stanford High School, and based on all indications and forecasts, we will have that game. There was the thought that it would get moved to Thursday, but really no need. The forecast indicating that we can play basketball on Friday. However, we will not play. It'll be Stanford and Trinity Catholic. You do not want to see us shoot the basketball. Held across the line by Van Etten. I can put a jump shot up once in a while, but that's about it. Back behind the net, DiSabella. Into the circle it goes. 3:22 to go in this one. A 5-2 Darien lead. Now Brown, left circle at the bottom of it. Goes for the sharp angle. The save made and over to the near side. Hathaway on for the Blue Wave. Henry Hathaway, the senior defenseman. This hits the netting, stopping things with 3:09 to go.
I was playing basketball the other day, Rob, and I couldn't even make a layup, so let alone the jump shot. I think we're broadcasting the right people on Friday.
Something tells me you can shoot the rock, Frank.
I'm actually not allowed to play basketball at the high school anymore. Last time I was there, I dunked the ball and broke the backboard.
Oh, boy.
Come on! Really?
Well, we love the enthusiasm at the very least.
No, unfortunately, white man can't jump in my household, and a decent shooter, much better passer. But again, I played hockey growing up. Basketball was not my thing.
To the near side, Kirby Kirby, the wrister, out of the right circle, goes to the far side. 2:50 to go, a 5-2 game. Darien very much in control. They're going to wrap this one up in all likelihood and pick up win number 8 on the year, while St. Joseph will drop to 5-4 in 2:39. But that's why we play all 45 minutes. Let's see if the Cadets have anything left. Kirby in the left circle, stops, once goes to throw it on net, taken and thrown back the other way out to center. Through the neutral zone, and you start to see some guys carrying bags of equipment making their way through. That means some kind of an adult game probably coming up after this one. Love seeing adult hockey. Right circle, Knowlton. Chipped across, and the kick save made by Wilson with 2:09 to go. Into the corner, played over there by Will Gilbert. Gilbert grabs it out of that corner, brings it near side. Full Desi there for the Cadets. Post-game show coming up in 1:55 on this Wednesday night. Behind the net again with Gilbert. Gilbert far side. Usinger there out to center for the Cadets. They'll send it down the right wing. David Voigt steps out of his cage, leaves it from behind the net. To the far side again. They'll bring it back the other way from left to right. Sent down along the left wing. It'll rattle around to the near side, down to the final 90 of this 5-2 game. Ahead of steam, Fuldesi tries to create a 2-on-1 right circle, and it goes high. Creating the opportunity with Usinger, but it wasn't there. Van Etten from the top of the left circle, through traffic, and it looks like they scored, maybe? Yes! I saw the official indicate it, but no one looked convinced, so I waited as well. Frank, it's 5-3.
Yep, the shot came from Van Etten at the point. It just squeaked through the armpit of Voigt, and waiting right on the doorstep was DiSabella. Tucked it home nicely. I think he just understands where we are in this game. He was a little upset that it came so late.
Quite honestly, that might have been the most hesitant goal call of my 17-year career. 1:09 to go. I couldn't tell.
Oh, I couldn't either, but I have to concur with Frank. You know, he's frustrated. He understands. It's 5-3. It's not really the appropriate time to celebrate.
Darien not letting up at all. They're almost trying to avenge that last one now.
Scott Voigt goes behind the net. And DiSabella does get the goal. And the two defensemen get the assists. Down to 37 to play in the third period. It's loose in the slot. And the whistle and the cover-up by Wilson. Go ahead, Frank.
And you can see right there, that's been the problem with St. Joe's in the defensive zone all night. They've got 5 guys collapsed within front of their net. The points are wide open for Darien, and it has been a shooting gallery since the first period.
Well, the Ducks go over into the circle to the right side of Ryan Wilson with a half minute to play. Off the draw, comes over to the near side. Playing it out of the right corner as we're down to the final 25 of a 5-3 game. Trying to set it up in the circle, comes back to Knowlton. Knowlton goes cross ice. There's Scott Voigt. Voigt left circle, deflected off a Cadet. Kept in by the Blue Wave as we're down to 12. Knowlton spins around, grabs it, takes a look with 9. Trying to throw it down to get a 6th goal. Into the left corner it goes with 4. We're down to 3 and 2. Sprawling on top of it with .3 remaining. Wilson, one more face-off, and the final score will be 5-3.
It was definitely all but over about 10 minutes ago. You kind of saw St. Joe's trying to put something together, but Darien was not letting up.
The face-off, just a formality, and this one's in the books. The final score, Darien 5 and St. Joseph 3.
I think we saw a phenomenal game, Rob. I really think we did. Very, very interesting to see Darien, their Arsenal attack in the first and second period. Just a phenomenal job. Great way to get the win over a rising St. Joe's team. But I think if you're St. Joe's, you can't hang your head at this point. Young with Darien for a full period at the very least. They have the talent to hang with them, so it's going to be an interesting year for them.
I do agree. I think though, if you're the Cadets, you're frustrated. You had them at 2-0, and I think that kind of ugly goal late in the first really changed the momentum of this game.
Definitely, and that was the theme on our cast at the end of the first period. I really think that kind of changed their whole mentality going forward on into the game, and the scoreboard tells the story, Rob.
It does tell the story, and the story reads final score, the Darien Blue Wave 5 and the St. Joseph Cadets 3. We will take a timeout. Wait a minute, we've got a guest. Down to Frank Granito. Frank, let's go ice side. Frank, it's all you.
Well, surprise guest with Jake Kirby. Jake, you guys really picked it up in the second period there down the stretch. You ignited the spark. What happened down there that last minute 30?
You know, we just had him pinned in the zone, and in front, just kept getting shots, and we got one to go in there. Next shift, bodies in front. I think we had all 3 forwards in front. Sam took a shot from the point. Goalie couldn't see anything. And then, last one, we just got a 2-on-1 break. We just kept going. We didn't stop, and that's how we got it going.
Your defense was active all night. We've seen them join the play all year. What makes them so confident to feel like they're such a big part of your offense?
Sam Nolan's a 4-year varsity player, and he's really got some offensive talent, so he really loves to jump in the rush. He's got good hands, quick feet, so we really trust him getting up there. Scott Voigt, too. Big body, big shot. We rely, on these senior guys to really, we trust them. We let them get in the rush because we know they'll get back, and those guys left in the blue line, we know they can handle themselves back there too. So, forwards got to cover back sometimes, but the D really do a good job jumping up in the play and creating offense for us.
You guys beat Greenwich on Monday. That team from the other side of the Merritt knocked off Xavier that same day. Do you feel like you're the #1 team in the state right now?
It's kind of up and down right now. I think we lost to ND West. They came here, and St. Joe's beat them 4-0. So, Xavier going down to New Canaan 5-1. I don't think you could have predicted that one, but Tyler Hill had a great game, I think. And so right now I think if we just keep playing, we can, call ourselves #1. But it doesn't really matter to us right now because it's just the regular season. And really it comes down to one game at a time, and that's all we're going to do right now. We're looking forward to Trumbull on Saturday.
Thanks a lot, Jake. We'll see you soon. Good luck with the rest of the year. Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, Frank, good job.
Unbelievably spoken kid.
I like it.
Tremendous.
Great stuff. We'll see you back over here.
Sounds good. Back to you guys.
All right, Frank Granito across the way with Jake Kirby. Our thanks to him for coming on a couple of times throughout the night. He had a couple of goals as well, 3 points to be exact, and the final score is 5-3. I beg your pardon. We will take a break. We will come back. We'll get final numbers on the night from AJ, and we'll have some final comments from ourselves, and then we'll say farewell. Once again, your final score. The Darien Blue Wave 5, the St. Joseph Cadets 3. We come back to Shelton to wrap it up right after this. You're watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
Here at the Darien Sports Shop, we are very excited about our newly redesigned men's department. Gentlemen, if you're shopping for work, weekend, or wedding, we've got the latest styles and trends inside our spacious new department just for you. We have vast selections from Peter Millar, Vineyard Vines, Johnny O, Duckhead, Barber, and so much more. And you can even walk out of the store in the new Wolverine 1,000-mile men's boot. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
Find over 1,000 special stories at Hospital for Special Surgery. Go to hss.edu/backinthegame.
I was jogging 5 months after my cartilage tear.
Skiing a year after hip surgery.
And playing grandma 4 weeks after hip replacement.
One special hospital, 1,000 special stories. See Connecticut patients at hss.edu/CT.
I'm Kate Chaplinsky. Join us for Coffee Break, weekdays at 11 to get the latest Connecticut news, weather, high school sports, and more. News doesn't get any more local than on Coffee Break on the HAN Network.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. Nearly 500,000 viewers enjoyed our broadcasts in the first 5 months. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
So this one in the books, and the banner hanging right now, not the happy one, is the St. Joseph Cadets lose to the Darien Blue Wave 5-3, dropping the Cadets record in the FCIAC to 2-1, while the Blue Wave improve to 3-0 with Frank Granito, AJ Simonowski, and Jake Zimmer. I'm Rob Adams. AJ, I'm going to start with you because you're the man with the numbers. Give me those third period totals, and let's see what we can find here.
Now, Rob, I have to admit I had to step away from my pad
That is true.
For a couple of minutes to attend to some behind-the-scenes things. By my not very good counting, Darien tallied another 19 shots in that third period to only about 8 for St. Joe's. So my total's probably not correct. 56-20. Even if I'm short a couple, Darien nearly tripled St. Joe's shot total.
That's not off by much, even if it is off. I think that's probably fairly accurate.
But boy, that does not bode well for St. Joseph, Frank.
No, and it's St. Joe's is a good team. They were outmatched tonight, and we saw how good Darien can be, and that's with a so-so game from David Voigt.
Right.
We saw how aggressive their defense liked to play, how powerful their offense can be. And you factor in the fact that Voigt had an off night, but he's got 4 shutouts on the year, and 7 out of 8 games where he's 7 out of 8 games before this one where he's allowed 1 goal. This is a scary team.
Jake, I would think for the Cadets, they would have to be frustrated because they get that 2-0 lead. They have, as Frank just said, David Voigt on an off night from at least the initial impression. They kind of had them on their heels. And you get the 2 goals early on. Usinger at 5:51 and then Foldesi at 8 minutes. It's 2-0 right there. Again, you feel like you've got the Blue Wave on their heels, but Solger at 14:41, and I thought that was a rough goal.
I think that Solger goal really changed the outcome of the game. Going into the locker room 2-1, that's a whole different conversation than if it's 2-0 and you dominate the entire period. But for St. Joe's, I really think that this is, regardless of the score tonight, they really need to just put it behind them. They got some big games coming up. Saturday they're playing the Stanford Co-op and then the Fairfield Co-op after that. 2 great teams, and Hamden after that, who just took a nice overtime win tonight. So I really think that they're going to need to trust their team, that they have a very, very good team as they keep going forward.
And you know, Rob, it reminded me a lot of when we did the New Canaan-Darien game. New Canaan plays Darien to a 0-0 tie in the first period, surrenders that last goal with about 20 seconds left, and all of a sudden comes out in the second and pours it back on. It's a scary team that you can play with them so tightly, and the slightest bit of momentum they take advantage of like no one else.
What do you think?
And you started to see, I was surprised at Darien's approach to the final period. I hate to use the cliche, the best defense is a good offense sometimes. Darien didn't have to play defense that period because they, again, as I said, put almost 20 shots on net in a game they were up by 3 goals for most of the period.
Again, to just continue the scoring, DeBerardinis at 4:26 of the second period made it 2-2. And then a big goal. Kirby from Hazelton and I believe from, my handwriting looking terrible here, that's Mullen. Hazelton and Mullen, 3-2, and that was a power play goal, and I thought that was a big turn in the game. We only had 2 penalties on the night, both of them on the Cadets.
No, and I was standing there almost 10 seconds before that goal, looking up at the clock, thinking, if St. Joe's can kill this penalty off and get out of this period 2-2, they almost steal momentum back.
But it got, as the saying goes, bowling shoe ugly for a moment. 13:37 for Kirby. We know sooner the ink wasn't dry, and Knowlton goes down from the right point through traffic, made it 4-2. Kirby and Scott Voigt the assists at 14:25. But wait, as they say, there's more. Kirby again at 14:46, an assist to Glassmeyer, and right there, bing, bang, boom, in a span of 109, 3 goals, 5-2, and as a New York sports talk host would say, good night, the lights.
It was an impressive 90 seconds to end the period, and it really turned this game. And it's the difference between a veteran team like Darien and the FCIAC versus a younger St. Joe's team who is really finding their way through such a powerful conference.
Then St. Joe's wouldn't go away. They did get one last goal from DiSabella. And again, the lack of celebration, the lack of crowd noise kind of had us, certainly had me looking at it going, wait, is that a goal or not? I saw the official indicate it, but I was waiting to see somebody react to it. That made it 5-3 at 13:41, and that's the way it ends. And it sounds like 56-20 shots. That's fairly accurate. I think that's in the right ballpark.
I would hope so.
I think you're close. You had to run and help Frank at one
I did
point.
have to run and help Frank. Frank actually teaching me the basics of what constitutes a shot in hockey. So I was trying to keep my closest eyes on that.
I
But,
think you did a pretty solid job. See you Friday or no?
I will be out on Friday.
All right, we'll miss you Friday, but certainly stay safe with the weather coming. I'll see you tomorrow.
You see me all the
I see you all the time. I will see Friday as
I'm
well.
on the crew Friday. Yes, you will.
Good stuff. We will have basketball for you on Friday. In all likelihood, the weather not needing to permit it now because it looks like it will be okay Friday night as the Stanford Black Knights host the Trinity Catholic Crusaders pregame show at 6:55 on Friday night. And then as well, we'll have coffee break, Yankee Fisherman, all of that tomorrow, and of course, HAN Arts and Leisure. But that'll do it from the rinks at Shelton. The final score, the Darien Blue Wave 5 and the St. Joseph Cadets 3, as the Blue Wave hear me announce that as they walk right past our broadcast perch and all turn around and take a look. Coffee break starts your day tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock. Kate Chaplinsky, Donald Eng, and myself. I'll have sports, we'll have highlights, we'll have weather as well. We'll keep you posted on the incoming storm. And again, storm watch if necessary this weekend. But for our entire crew here at the rinks at Shelton, thanks to Tracy Iazi, a welcome to Peter Oos, Marty Hersom, John Kovach, Bill Bloxam, Eric Gendron directing, AJ Simonowski rolling with the numbers, Frank Granito ice side, and Jake Zimmer. This is Rob Adams wishing you a happy Wednesday night. We'll see you Friday for basketball at Stanford High School. But for now, 5-3 final score. Good night from Shelton. You've been watching the FCIAC on the HAN Network.
The preceding has been a presentation of the HAN Network, the leader for local news, sports, and entertainment in Fairfield and Westchester counties.